1500 प्रीलोडेड गानों वाला कीपैड फोन धमाकेदार साउंड के साथ कारवा मोबाइल।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। What is good? What is bad? What is right and wrong? This is very much debated, and people think, are these absolute realities? Or it is merely social perception? Things which were considered abominable decades ago, now it is very much appreciated and permitted in society. So is there something which is absolutely right or wrong, or these are only relative terms? So important thing to know is, yes, there is definitely which is right, and there are things which should be avoided. If we violate the hygienic principles, we will get diseased. It doesn't matter we believe in the existence of disease or not. In a similar fashion, in this chapter, Lord Krishna describes which are the right or good activities which lead one to the path of bliss and happiness, and which are the wrong activities which only increase the suffering. So today this dilemma is going to be cleared. This session is dedicated to His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, our spiritual master and the founder and acharya of the worldwide Hare Krishna movement. So let us start chapter 16, the divine and demoniac natures. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Abhayam Sattva Samshuddhir Jnana Yoga Vyavasthitihi Danam Damascha Yajñascha Swadhyayastapa Arjavam Ahimsa Satyam Akrodhas Tyaga Shantir Apaishunam Daya Bhuteshvaloluptvam Mardavam Hrira Chapalam Teja Kshamadhriti Shaucham Adroho Nati Manita Bhavanti Sampadam Daivim Abhijatasya Bharata. The Blessed Lord said, fearlessness, purification of one's existence, cultivation of spiritual knowledge, charity, self-control, performance of sacrifice, study of the Vedas, austerity and simplicity, non-violence, truthfulness, freedom from anger, renunciation, tranquility, aversion to fault-finding, compassion and freedom from covetousness, gentleness, modesty and steady determination, vigor, forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, freedom from envy, and the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharat, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. Material world has been addressed as Dukhalayam, Ashashvatam, Anityam Asukham Lokam, that this world is full of miseries. That is why so much struggle is happening. Struggle is happening between the countries to defend their territories. Struggle is happening within the country, either to oust the government from which the people are dissatisfied, or either to leave the jobs which are bringing them dissatisfaction, or to score very nicely in a system which is very competitive. There is constant struggle in everybody's life. Science is also struggling very hard to counteract the onslaughts of material nature. In this way, everybody is struggling here. So this is not the right way to become happy. It is just like you are in a jungle and your path is strewn with many thorns and pebbles. In order to have a smooth walk, you are trying to remove all the bushes, thorns and pebbles from your path. That is not a sane way to have a smooth walk. The solution is wear shoes. As simple as that. In a similar fashion, this analogy is given actually in the Shrimad Bhagwatam, that one should wear shoes. In a similar fashion, why we are trying to remove all the thorns and all the pebbles? There are unlimited thorns and pebbles in this material world. It is called Dukhalayam. And there is no means, even if you throw all the thorns and pebbles out of the way, hypothetically, although it is not possible, still more thorns will be given by the material nature. More pebbles will come up, because Krishna tells material nature is not automatic, it is controlled by me. Even though it appears to be automatic, this automation is set into place by Krishna. It is under Krishna's control always. That is why Krishna tells, Mama Maya Duratyaya. You cannot overcome, counteract this material energy, because it is controlled by me. Maya Adhyakshena Prakritihi. It is acting under my supervision. So thus Krishna tells Duratya, it is very difficult to overcome. But in only one case, one circumstance, it can be overcome, and that is Mam evye prapadyante. If you take shelter of mine, you surrender unto me, then you can cross beyond all the troubles of this material world. So the solution is not to invent light so that you can counteract darkness, and then that light is creating so many other problems. Then there is light pollution, there is so much disturbance in the biological activity within our bodies. In order to counteract the misery of having a slow ride on animals or other natural means, you have invented automobiles, but then automobiles are creating other problems. So much of non-degradable waste, so much of global warming, and unlimited problems are coming up. So if we analyze, we are not solving the problem, we are shifting the load from head to shoulder, shoulder to waist. If you don't study, then there is problem, there would be criticism, there won't be resources to maintain yourself. But then if you study, that is another struggle. We do not want to do, but we are forced to do it. Then if you have automobiles to solve the problem of slow transport, it creates dozen other problems. Waste which cannot be decomposed. The waste is creating global warming. And then so many other troubles. There is traffic, and then there is pollution. And because of pollution, so many diseases. So one solution you make and dozen more problems are created. So in this manner, if we analyze, the problems are increasing. And by this hard work to make this earth a nice place to live, the life on earth sustained for so many thousands of years. But now they are telling we have brought ourselves to the point of no return because of this industrialization. So as Stephen Hawking told, that we have 100 years on this planet. So by this contribution of wonderful intelligence to make this world a better place to live, we have rendered it uninhabitable. 100 years is the deadline now. You move to other planet. And we are hoping against hope. This earth which was full of resources, even now it is full of resources. We are telling we cannot save it, but we have a hope that on a planet on which resources are not there, we will make it habitable. So all these things will happen if we try to solve the problems of life without taking shelter of the Vedas, which tell us what are the laws of nature, which are the right things to do, which are the wrong things to avoid. Problems will simply keep on increasing, compounding in our life. So that is why we should not try to solve the problems of life by taking out pebbles and thorns one at a time. Rather, wear the shoes. And this is called liberation. All these problems are because of the nature around us. Nature forces us to become old. I don't want an old body. Nature forces us to die. Nature forces us with so many problems. That is why the Vedas tell dharma, artha, kama, moksha. You follow the rules and regulations of the Vedas, then there would be economic development. And after economic development, you can try to satisfy your desires only to realize that it doesn't bring you any lasting satisfaction, the fulfillment of all the desires. Then we realize, oh yes, actually the greatest happiness lies in liberation. From there the spiritual life begins. And when a person is very much advanced on the liberated platform, one can understand what is God and experience the spiritual bliss in life. So the purpose is to become liberated. This is very important. Nothing in the world should affect me. Whatever disturbances are being created by the nature or by the other living entities or being created by my mind and body. There is no other disturbance, only three disturbances: Adhyatmik, Adhibhautik and Adhidevik. I should not be affected by anything at all. Yasmin sthito na dukkhena guru napi vichalyet. The greatest calamity also should not shake me. This is called the stage of freedom, liberation. This was sought after by all the sages of the Varnashrama culture, which is known as Hindu culture today. So every intelligent person should aspire to understand what is that technology, what is that way of life by which I can come to a platform where I can become free from the laws of nature. Human life is meant to attain this end, complete freedom from the clutches of the laws of nature. Now, who is given freedom here? Freedom is given to gentlemen, those who possess good qualities, divine qualities, and whose freedom is curtailed of that of demoniac people. They are put into jail. The more crimes they commit, the more freedom is restricted. Initially, there would be imprisonment of few years, and then if they create further offenses, then their hands and legs are shackled. Further offenses, they are put in a dark cell. They will not be able to see sunlight also. It will be moist, dark. It is moist, dark, and it is very, very horrible over there. For many, many days and weeks, a person will not be able to see the light of sun. So the more we degrade ourselves to the base qualities, our freedom is curtailed. And if we behave nicely, better freedom and resources are given by the government. So thus we understand there are laws of nature operating here. We follow the principles of hygiene, we remain fit, healthy. We don't follow, we fall sick. So in a similar fashion, Lord Krishna here gives us all these wonderful qualities which guide us to the path of liberation. So we have to cultivate all these qualities. So let us understand a little bit about these so that we can practice to develop these in our personality. The first quality is fearlessness. So in this Varnashrama Dharma, the scientific division of society in 4 spiritual and 4 social orders, is ultimately meant to take a person to the platform of liberation. Then if one is fortunate on liberated platform, one can meet a pure devotee of Lord and then understand the truth of the existence of God. But minimum at least one should reach the platform of liberation. So among these orders, sannyas or the order of renunciation is the topmost. A sannyasi renunciant is the spiritual master of all the other divisions. And the first quality, so these qualities should be cultivated by everybody. All the devotees should have these qualities, but still, people in specific situation in the Varna and the Ashrama are supposed to put stress on some of these qualities. Like the first 3 qualities are supposed to be followed very strictly by the sannyasis. Others may also aspire to develop, but a sannyasi must have these qualities. And the first quality in renunciation, if we want to become sannyasi, is abhayam, fearlessness. Because a person has to give up all the connections of family. As long as we are attached here, we will keep on taking birth here, life after life. If we want eternal life, we need to have detachment. If we practice detachment, there is always fear. I have to leave my family. Now my family was taking care of me. I have got old now. In old age, I need all the more support. But no. A sannyasi is supposed to have such a level of realization that one understands the Supreme Soul is sitting in my heart, in everyone's heart, and He will take care of me even in the very horrible, dangerous jungles filled with ferocious tiger snakes and many other insects. I will be unharmed if the Super Soul protects me. And if the Super Soul wants me to leave the body, then I should agree because He is the Supreme Controller. My pleasure lies in obeying His orders. In this way, sannyasi is always fearless. Maro bhi rakho bhi jo ichha tuhari. You want to kill or save God as you want to do with this body, which actually belongs to you, you can do it. As long as it continues, I will try to serve you with this body. In this way, when a person has realization of God, who is present in every atom, heart of all the species, one remains fearless. Thus, it was a natural course. After 50 years of age, everyone would take shelter of jungle, that is called Vanaprastha. They go to jungle to practice austerities. So this is called fearlessness. Now it is very, very difficult to conceive in old age how somebody can live independently in a far-off place, isolated and dangerous place. But no. In the womb, when I could not cry for help, I was protected, I was given all the supplies. When I came out, I could not know what is good for me, but the right kind of food stuff. Child cannot take anything other than milk. Milk was provided immediately in the breasts of the mother. So this arrangement has been there in the womb, out of the womb. It is there always. So a sannyasi is supposed to be fearless. Then, purification of one's existence. Impurity means lust and greed, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. Tendency to enjoy independent of God, this is impurity. Enjoyment, tendency to enjoy is not bad, but this enjoyment comes when we only plan enjoyment for God. A thief's heart is considered impure because he thinks I should enjoy others' property. So human life is only meant for purification, as Lord Rishabhdev told, Tapo divyam putrakayena sattvam shuddhyedyasmad brahma saukyam tvanantam. Rishabhdev is king of the planet, and he's telling, he was also taking renunciation sannyas. Before taking sannyas, he is guiding his children, 100 sons. What is the right conduct of life? And he is telling, do tapasya. That is also one of the items that will be mentioned here. Voluntarily accept discomforts in life because that leads to the purification. Now people have forgotten what I am supposed to do, what is the right thing, right culture, right quality, which will give me liberation. So self-purification, it happens by tapasya, voluntarily accepting discomforts. It happens by control of the senses. It happens by giving charity. It happens by control of mind. It happens by reading the scriptures. So every activity leads either to purification of consciousness or degradation of consciousness. Either it increases my tendency to enjoy independent of God, or it increases my tendency to serve God and minimize my independent enjoyment. That is called purification. So self-purification, this is supposed to be practiced by everyone, especially by a sannyasi. Then cultivation of spiritual knowledge. So a sannyasi is supposed to be very, very humble. That is why they go begging door to door. We also approach people for donations. But it should not be misunderstood that sannyasi is beggar. Especially in India, many times we find beggars who have taken this as a very nice means to earn livelihood. Sometimes you'll find them in the places where people assemble. Sometimes you'll find them in the trains or bus stops or many other places where people assemble. And they will be wearing saffron and they'll be begging, because in India there is a culture you are supposed to give maintenance money to the sannyasi. So some beggars thought it is very nice, I don't have to do any work, simply wear this dress and sometimes you may sing the names of God and people will give you money. But no. Sannyasi does not approach house to house because he is dependent on the householders for their maintenance. They are abhayam. They know I will be maintained in every situation. But why they approach? Because humility has to be practiced. Going and begging somebody a morsel for your subsistence, it is not very easy begging. People don't want to beg. But sannyasi is supposed to have this humility, cultivate this humility and beg. And why? Because when the householders who are very busy in sense enjoyment, in maintaining their family, they automatically advance by giving charity to the sannyasis. So do not have time for direct spiritual cultivation. They spend time in earning money, and that money is given to sannyasis. That is as good as spending time for Krishna. So by giving this money, charity or food to the sannyasis, they advance in spiritual life. So for their spiritual advancement, it is duty of sannyasi to go house to house and do madhukari. Madhukari means, it does not mean sannyasi should go and tell one family, now you feed me with nice dishes, everything. He goes house to house and little he takes from everyone, so that no family is overburdened and everyone gets chance of spiritual elevation. And apart from giving in charity, the food or money, donations, they also inquire from them about spiritual subject matter. And the sannyasi, when he goes, he is offered respect. He gives, householder gives charity. Householder becomes capable. By rendering service, we become qualified to get spiritual knowledge. Without service, even if one hears spiritual knowledge, it will take very long time to manifest into realization. So he becomes qualified, and then they discuss spiritual subject matter. In this way, householders who otherwise have no time to dedicate to spiritual life directly, they can advance in this way. So a sannyasi is supposed to maintain this thing, cultivation of knowledge. It is very, very important. So he should go and spread knowledge to everybody. And sometimes if a sannyasi has prematurely taken this renounced order, then he should spend all the time in hearing, dedicate himself to hear the scriptures and cultivate knowledge. It is very, very important. It is a prime duty of sannyasi. The duty of householder, as we will see, is to give charity, because they are engaged in cultivation of money. The duty of sannyasi is cultivation of knowledge, because they only have time and maturity, the austerity and all these principles by which knowledge can manifest. So those who have knowledge should spread knowledge, those who have money should give money. So these three things are supposed to be followed, especially by the sannyasis. And the next, charity, danam, self-control, damaha, performance of sacrifice, yajna. These are supposed specially to be followed by householders. The householder is glorified by the charity, because other three orders, social divisions, brahmachari, vanprasth and sannyasi, do not earn anything. So just see how nice is this varnashrama dharma. It is specifically dedicated to attain liberation. So only in household life for 25 years, you can satisfy your senses, so that you realize actually that is not bringing satisfaction to my heart. First 25 years, strict education in the Gurukul. Next 25 years, household life. You can enjoy worldly enjoyment, but that also through serving Krishna. And then after 50 years, then you wind up the activities, go with wife, because attachment with wife is very strong. You go with wife to jungle, practice austerities, but no sex life after 50 years. And then after that, as soon as you are purified, you can live independently, take sannyas. Women cannot be given sannyas, because they always need protection. There are always so many dangers for them. So they always, if the husband is there together, they can live in jungle. But when husband wants to take sannyas, woman should be given protection by her sons. So in this way, everyone is very conscious what is my ultimate duty. So householder is glorified by the charity. So now this misconception is there, whatever money I have, it belongs to me. This is wrong. Just like the cashier is having a lot of money, but that money belongs to bank. Out of that, little will be given to the cashier, whatever is due as per his salary. In a similar fashion, this body mind doesn't belong to me. What money I have earned, that is, I don't become the rightful owner of all of it. I can enjoy up to 50% of it, but not more than that. 50% should be used in Krishna consciousness. Charity is also in three modes: Sattva Guna, Rajoguna and Tamoguna. The charity done in Rajoguna and Tamoguna is not recommended in the Vedas. That we will see what it is. And charity done in Sattva Guna for spreading Krishna consciousness, this most important knowledge which gives people liberation. If you do some temporary seva, which anyway is going to come to the people as per the arrangement of laws of nature, that is but temporary. There are endless miseries. The real seva is bringing people to the platform of liberation, Krishna consciousness. Thus, charity should be done to Krishna conscious people who are spreading Krishna consciousness. So, 50% of the wealth should be spent in such charity. It does not belong to us. If you want to accumulate more than 50%, it will only bring miseries in our life. And 50% is also maximum actually. One should be satisfied simply by keeping body and soul together. But it may not be practical, so all the scriptures give very practical instructions. But remain satisfied with 50% of your income, that's it. So this is the most important duty of householder charity. After charity, self-control, damaha. Everyone is supposed to follow sense control, but specifically the householders, because there is lot of opportunity for sense enjoyment. Brahmachari who is living in jungle, he has no earning. Vanaprastha has no earning. Sannyasi has no earning, no resources in jungle, what you can enjoy. So anyway, enjoyment is restricted, but householder, he has all the opportunities for self-enjoyment. So if self-control is not there, then he will be lost. So thus damaha, sense control, self-control is very much required. Next, yajna, performance of sacrifice. This is also specially recommended for householders. What is sacrifice? We have discussed if you have been hearing these sessions. Krishna has mentioned in 2nd chapter, 3rd chapter, 4th chapter, 5th chapter a lot about sacrifice. Describe different kinds of sacrifices. And all the work it is explained should be done only for sacrifice for Lord Krishna. Yagyarthat karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhanaha. We'll get entangled in karma bandhan, means laws of nature. If we work just for sacrificing the results of activities, then we'll get freedom from the laws of nature. Yagya arthat karmanaha. Activity should be done for the artha, for the purpose of yajna, for sacrifice. And fire sacrifice, Agnihotra, is traditionally recommended in the Vedic literatures. And because only the householders have money, this yajna requires lot of money and resources. Tons and tons of grains and ghee is required and other resources. And who can afford it in today's age? It is very expensive. And apart from being very expensive, we need qualified brahmanas who can ignite the fire simply by the mantras. Where are such qualified brahmanas available? So because of lack of such arrangements, intelligent people, it is told in Shrimad Bhagwatam, will take to a special kind of yajnas. There are so many yajnas, but as Krishna has told in the 10th chapter, Yajnanam Jap Yajno Asmi. Of all the yajnas, I am Jap Yajna, chanting of the holy names of Lord. And it is told in Shrimad Bhagwatam 11th canto, Yajnai Sankirtana Prayar Yajantihi Sumedasaha. The most intelligent people will engage themselves in Sankirtan Yajna, together chanting and hearing the names of God. Sumedasa, a very intelligent person only will be able to understand this kind of Yajna performance. So this is very simple. Anyway, we don't have much resources and no resources are required. Just sit with the family members, friends, as many people gather, the better it is, and sing and hear attentively the names of God. And thus yajnas are performed. We'll be free from karma bandhana, stringent laws of nature, and all the natural supplies of the materials will be kept intact. There will be no scarcity of food, there will be no scarcity of water, and everything will be maintained very nicely. So yajna, sacrifice, is very important for purification of existence, for satisfaction of Lord Vishnu, for becoming free from the laws of nature, and for maintaining the supply of natural ingredients. Without sacrifice, one cannot have supply of natural ingredients. Thus, despite so much of advancement, we see drought, famine, there is scarcity of food grains, scarcity of water. All these things are depleting. Yajna is required. Next is study of Vedas, Swadhyay, austerity, tapaha, and simplicity, arjavam. These things are specifically to be practiced by the brahmacharis. So brahmacharis are supposed to do swadhyay. Student means simply one should study, as now also students keep on studying. But this education is not this mundane education. Reconfiguring the matter. Shilpa Napunam, that is called. This is called an art. This education technology, what we are studying actually. We think that this is the summit of the activity of the grey cells in our head. But this technology, if we analyze what it is simply reconfiguring the matter, putting this atom from this place to another place, this electron from this orbit to another orbit, diode transistor putting from here to there, putting one chemical layer here. It is simply reconfiguring the matter. Shilpa Napunam, just like it is an art to put paint, put one paint here, configuration of paint, that is called art. So this technology is also considered but an art in terms of the Vedic knowledge. The knowledge, as we have seen in previous chapters, is to understand what is spirit, what is matter, and who is controller of both. So this kind of knowledge was cultivated in Gurukul. So Swadhyay is required to cultivate this knowledge of spirit and matter and the controller of both. Next is austerity, tapaha. Voluntarily accepting discomforts in life is very, very important. So these discomforts in life, austerities, they cleanse the soul of hallucinations and illusion. And then the knowledge of the soul being different from the body automatically awakens. That is why Lord Krishna tells, who is qualified to understand this Bhagavad Gita? Krishna tells, do not speak this knowledge to the people who are not austere or who are not devoted. Either a person should be austere, he should be taking voluntary discomforts in one's life, or one should be devoted to Supreme Lord. Then only a person can understand. So everybody likes enjoyment. If a child, day in and day out, child is playing sports or some computer games, he will never realize the importance of education. He will get lost, spoil his career. In a similar fashion, if we don't practice restraint, we will be indulged in sense enjoyment. We will never understand I am eternal soul. Ultimately, I am creating so many problems of repeated birth, death, old age and disease because of my ignorance, because of this sense enjoyment. So to understand oneself as spirit soul different from body, understand I am eternal, it is not easy. One has to do tapasya, then automatically one will understand all the subject matters which could be difficult otherwise to know. So to come to platform of knowledge, tapaha, brahmachari is engaged in education, so it should be coupled with tapasya. Then next is simplicity. Simplicity means arjavam. So not just brahmachari, but everyone should be very simple. Now we want to accumulate resources, show off to others. No, this is not proper conduct. I should not try to attract the attention of people. If a person is attracted towards me, how will it benefit him or her? But if a person is attracted towards God, that is the beginning of life of unlimited bliss and knowledge. So one should have very, very simple existence, simplicity. Next comes non-violence, ahimsa. How much ever weapons we can have, missile shields we can invent, very nice bulletproof jackets we can invent, helmets we can invent, very nice cars we can invent where there are all the mechanisms for safety. We have very nice system of traffic control. We have very nice advancement in the science of medicine. We will not be able to avoid distress, as we can see how it is happening. We have conquered 5 diseases and 50 more diseases have sprung up. Newer diseases are coming every day. How much ever United Nations we can have, it has been an utter failure to prevent wars. So how much ever we can plan, if we are giving harm to other living entities, nature will plan to inflict harm to us. So it is very simple to understand there are laws operating in this nature. Now people are very much fond of eating meat. But so much pain is being inflicted to other living entity. Meat is called mansa in Sanskrit. So Sanskrit is the language of enlightenment, the most reformed people. So Mansa, every word has got a meaning. Mansa means Mamsa khadati iti mansa. As I am killing you, eating you, you have the right to kill me in next life. So much pain is inflicted to the living entities in the slaughterhouse. We will have to undergo the same pain. We may blame, oh, these people are having bad mentality, how cruel, these terrorists, they cut the people, chop the people into two portions. And how bad are these people, fanatics, in the name of religion, they are creating so many troubles. How bad is this national leader, he created concentration camps. We may blame all these people. How bad is the government, they cannot protect the citizens. We can blame all of them, but we have to understand we are enjoying and suffering our own karma. Instruments could differ, but we get lost in correcting the instruments and forget the suffering to me is happening because I have given the suffering to other living entities. Any pain that is being afflicted to us, somebody is using very harsh words upon us, we have used similar words upon somebody and inflicted similar punishment to them. So rather than showing anger upon the instrument of immediate suffering, person realizes, oh, how bad I was, I inflicted similar pain to others. May not be in this life, in previous many lives. So if we read the Vedas, so there are so many stories, and they are not stories actually. People call them stories, they are histories. So many such incidents are there where people were able to recollect, oh, I have been given this punishment because in my previous life, and not just human beings. If there was a saint who, when he was child, he was piercing an insect with a thorn. And when he got a human form of life, he was erected on an iron nail, very big nail they would have, like a lancet. It will go through the rectum and come out of the head. Such great pain. This was one way of punishment where thieves would be punished by the king. And then when he inquired why he was given this punishment, then Yamaraj told him that you don't remember when you were small, you pierced an insect with the thorn. So nature does not tell that no, only small living entities you are killing, you will be spared, no. The same living entity is there in the small body. If somebody is riding a bicycle does not mean a truck driver who is having a big vehicle is entitled to kill. No, killing is killing, same punishment. So the bodies of insects may be small, but you kill an insect, you kill a hen, you kill a rat, goat, dog, camel, punishment is same. We will also be killed. But yes, if we kill conscious, very who are advanced in consciousness, Brahmana, spiritualists, if we kill them, there would be much more punishment. But minimum we will be killed for any killing that we have done. This people do not know. So if we increase this meat-eating tendency, if we increase the slaughterhouses, more war, pestilence, epidemics, COVID, all these things will happen and people will be slaughtered by the nature. So we have to understand, God has made this perfect mechanism. You inflict harm, you get harm. You give help to others, you will get help. You give wealth to others, you will become wealthy. You give education to others, you become very learned man. This is the law of nature. This is called the law of karma. So I request, please try to spread this knowledge, be non-violent, don't give harm to other living entities, and understand these laws of nature and transcend the laws of nature by developing all these qualities. Next is truthfulness, satyam. Falsity is violating the laws of nature, but unless one is Brahmana, one understands my happiness and distress is anyway supposed to come. Why should I indulge myself in falsehood? So only such people can practice this truthfulness. Even if enemy comes and asks, they will still speak the truth. Because a Brahmana is fearless, he understands happiness and distress is predestined. I should do my duty in this life so that future distress can be avoided, I can become liberated. So as far as possible, one should be truthful. And truthful, more importantly, means apart from the morally being truthful or being false, truthfulness means understanding absolute truth, Krishna, from the scriptures and spreading this knowledge to others of absolute truth. Next is freedom from anger. So this anger is very, very dangerous. As we become angry, our entire body becomes contaminated with the chemicals which are very dangerous for our health. Now the science has also found out. Ayurveda always told, have a very tranquil and peaceful mind, and then there would be no diseases. So 90% of diseases, they happen because of mind. When the mind is disturbed, agitated, angry, lusty, it gives rise to so many unwanted hormone chemical secretion in the body, and then there is so much disease because of that. Psychosomatic diseases, disorders, medical science also has understood now. We have ulcers in the mouth when there is so much stress. We have diabetes when there is so much of stress. And actually, Ayurveda tells 90% of the diseases are because of this mind. Everything is being governed from here, from mind, and mind is being governed from spirit. So if you follow spiritual life, automatically everything is taken care. But yes, as a matter of duty, this anger should be avoided as far as possible. Anger should be done. We cannot stop anger altogether. So that is why it is told in the Vedas, anger can be used upon those people who are envious of God. So some people naturally they want to accuse God. They are outlaws by nature, by natural instinct. They become angry as soon as they hear the name of God, want to oppose the activities of God consciousness. Then yes, if you become angry with such people, just like Lord Hanuman became angry, that is nice. That increases our relationship with God. So in such ways, avenues, we can use our anger. That helps in advancement of spiritual life. But otherwise, for my personal interest, I should not be angry at all. Next quality is renunciation. We discussed it is very important to have detachment in this world. Tranquility. A person should always maintain tranquility. Attraction to anything and hatred towards anything, both are actually entangling. Both capture our mind. If our mind is absorbed in the subject matter of material world, then we have to take birth again. If we hate a person, we are thinking of the person. If we love a person, we are again thinking of a person. And if the object of love and hatred is any material living entity, we are bound to come back here. So one should remain tranquil, neutral, neither hatred nor any attraction for anything or any person, entity of this material world. Tranquility. Next is aversion to fault finding, apashunam. Now people want to find faults. The media, the social media is abundant with fault finding and criticism. Of course, calling a thief is not considered fault finding, but unnecessarily criticizing when it does not bring any change, either in my life or other person's life, one should restrain from fault finding. Compassion and freedom from covetousness. So one should have compassion for other living entities. And of course, compassion for the body is a sign of ignorance. Compassion should be there for the spirit soul. So one should not think, oh, this life is so bad if I renounce the sense objects. No, even though it could be troublesome for the body, but it is very good for the spirit soul. Surgery is very painful for the body, but it saves a person. So compassion should be for the spirit soul. When Krishna killed so many people on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Krishna killed means under Krishna's direction, Arjuna killed, Pandavas killed. So it appears to be an act of violence, but that is not act of violence. That is compassion for the spirit soul. So those who are killed by the pure devotees like Arjuna or in the presence of Krishna who left their bodies, they immediately attain liberation, which a person attains by doing a lot of tapasya, cultivation of knowledge for many, many lives. So even though the bodies got destroyed, when Arjuna was shooting arrows on their bodies, this pain was purifying them. And when they left their bodies, they got liberation. So now there is no more birth and death. So these are the very fine things which we have to understand. What is real compassion? So real compassion is elevating people to the platform of liberation or Krishna consciousness. So in this way, one should have compassion by spreading this knowledge to others. This is the greatest act of compassion. Freedom from covetousness. Gentleness. One should be very gentle. Modesty. One should not do anything abominable. and steady determination. There would be fall downs because these qualities, rules, and regulations may not be easy to follow. So one should not lose hope and patience by such failures. Such failures are there in every field, everybody fails. But one should be determined, keep on practicing, and then eventually there would be success. Vigor. Now this is to be followed by Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas should have vigor. They should have strength, capacity to defend the subjects from the onslaughts of enemy. Forgiveness, fortitude, cleanliness, shaucham. Cleanliness is specially to be followed by the mercantile community. We have discussed before how shaucham is supposed to be practiced internally, externally. Externally, one should take bath minimum twice a day, recommended thrice a day. And then internally, one has to always evacuate very properly and chant Hare Krishna mantra very nicely. And apart from this, cleanliness should be practiced in one's dealings also. So especially the mercantile class, they can indulge in so many wrong practices, indulging in black marketing, hoarding, and so many other illicit trade activities. So one should be very, very clean, not just in one's body and mind, but in one's dealings also. This is called shaucham. Next is freedom from envy and the passion for honor. These transcendental qualities, O son of Bharat, belong to godly men endowed with divine nature. So all these qualities we should cultivate. If we cultivate these qualities, then nature gives us more and more greater freedom. And eventually we are liberated. When we are liberated, then we can understand what is Krishna, what is God. And then there is awakening of spiritual bliss in our life. An also important word which is used in the last line here is Bhavanti sampadam daivim abhijatasya bharata. Abhijatasya means one who is taking birth in such family. I'll repeat. So abhijatasya means one who takes birth with such qualities. Takes birth with qualities. Qualities are supposed to be cultivated when a person comes outside. No, within the womb and even before conception. This is a science which people do not know. In Varnashrama system, this system is called Garbhadhan Sanskar. In order to cultivate the spirit soul with all these good qualities, to have a birth with all these good qualities, purification of consciousness is recommended for the parents. Now, of course, those rituals cannot be performed, so we do that Garbhadhan Sanskar by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra every day, minimum 16 rounds. And on the day of conceiving the child, minimum 50 rounds, 50 should be chanted. And the parent should only take Krishna Prasadam, the food which is offered to Lord Krishna. That is pure food. It purifies our existence. And charity should be given to the devotees. Scripture should be read. In this way, parents can purify their consciousness. And with such pure consciousness, the soul will be naturally born with all these godly qualities. So these people do not know. Now the child is the result of sex life. Earlier, child was the prime motto and sex enjoyment was byproduct. Putrayate kriyate bharya putra pinda prayojanam. Having child was the purpose of marriage. Because people were understanding ultimately I need to have liberation. If I get stuck, because laws of nature are very stringent, if I get stuck somewhere in lower species, ghostly species, then if my child performs these rituals Pindadan very nicely, I'll be liberated from those life forms. So everything was there with an ambition, with a clear idea that I should ultimately reach the platform of liberation. And obviously enjoyment is a byproduct of it. But now sex enjoyment is the main activity and child is a byproduct. Then we should not be disturbed if so many Varna Sankaras are coming. Varna Sankara means unwanted population. Child was not required. Required was sexual enjoyment. Child came into picture. Without purification of consciousness, such children born will be naturally inclined to demoniac qualities. We will see all those qualities now. And they will be very, very lusty and greedy and will create havoc in society. So Arjuna told, women are not protected, these religious codes are not followed. Varna Sankara, unwanted population, will overburden this earth. So we should protect the men, we should resist from this war. So this is a great science, purification of consciousness. Then abhijataha, one takes birth with such qualities. Dambho darpo bhimanascha krodhav parushyameva Ajnanam cha bhijatasya partha sampadamasurim. Arrogance, pride, anger, conceit, harshness, and ignorance. These qualities belong to those of demonic nature, O son of Pritha. So here Krishna begins to mention demonic qualities. Arrogance, pride. So people are very much ambitious to take pride. They take pride in their identity, they take pride in their family member, they take pride in their possessions, but this pride is a demoniac quality. Person understands everything is bestowed by God for the service of God, and any moment it can be taken away. When Jad Bharat Maharaj, who was ruler of entire planet, he was acting as carrier of palanquin, and the king was criticizing him as servant. So he told, now in this life you are criticizing me as servant, you are thinking you are king, but next life the roles could be reversed. So a person always understands one's humble position. Anytime I can become animal, I can become pauper, or I can become king. All this is bestowed by God. So one remains prideless. Anger, we discussed, it is a bad quality. Conceit, harshness, people are very harsh in their speech, their behavior. And ignorance, lack of knowledge, all these are demoniac qualities. Daivi sampad vimokshaya nibandhaya surimata mashucha sampadam daivim abhijatosi pandava. The transcendental qualities are conducive to liberation, whereas the demonic qualities make for bondage. Do not worry, O son of Pandu, for you are born with the divine qualities. So here Krishna is mentioning divine qualities lead to liberation and demoniac qualities lead to bondage. Dvau bhut sargau lokesmin daiva asura evacha daivo vistara shav prokta asuram partha me shrino. O son of Pritha, in this world there are two kinds of created beings. One is called the divine and the other demonic. I have already explained to you at length the divine qualities. Now hear from me of the demoniac. Pravrittim cha nivrittim cha janana vidurasura na shaucham na pichacharo na satyam teshu vidyate. Those who are demoniac do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done. Neither cleanliness nor proper behavior nor truth is found in them. They do not know what is to be done and what is not to be done, like the society today. They think, oh, it all depends upon society. This kind of activity was considered abominable, now it is acceptable. They do not know what supports liberation and what creates bondage. Pravrittim nivrittim, do's and don'ts, they are not aware. Na shaucham napi chacharo, the rooms are very unclean, the houses are very unclean. Even sometimes some of our devotees, they try to approach their friends in colleges, very best colleges, and they tell their rooms are so dirty and messy. So what is this, that in the best institutions of the world, people are not trained to keep even their rooms tidy, themselves tidy, do not take bath for many days. Being unclean is quality of demons that always leads to miserable life. Na shaucham napi chacharo, proper behavior. Na satyam, truthfulness. Every person is starting their day with falsehood. So these are all demoniac qualities. These qualities or bad qualities should be avoided by any person who wants to avoid bondage and misery. Asatyam apratishtham te jagadahur anishwaram aparaspara sambhutam kimanyat kam haitukam. They say that this world is unreal and there is no foundation and that there is no God in control. It is produced of sex desire and has no cause other than lust. So there are some philosophers and so-called religionists, saints, who tell this world has come by chance. Anishwaraha asatyam, this world is unreal. They philosophize. Just like in dream, you have a world, you have people, you have waters, you have trees, automobiles, everything. But actually, the dream exists in your brain. Although in dream it appears that you are existing in that world. In a similar fashion, some philosophers tell this entire world is asatyam, it is false. You are not existing in a world, the world is existing in your brain, in your consciousness. When you become liberated, you understand the entire world is false. Asatyam. So Krishna is telling here, those people who preach such philosophies, they are actually demons. Ultimately, they want to tell, this is your hallucination, this entire world which you are seeing. There are no varieties here. There is only consciousness which exists. There is one thing in existence, consciousness. Yes, that is fact. There is consciousness only, but that consciousness... So that is fact. There is only consciousness which exists, but that consciousness has got varieties. But they tell all the varieties are illusion created in your mind, contaminated mind. And Anishwaram, it is not created by God. It is not in control of any God. There is not one supreme creator or person, Ishwaram, who is controller. And they will tell you only are God. So such philosophies, Krishna has told here, it is demoniac. Earlier demons were attacking Krishna and trying to kill Krishna. So such demons, they take birth as philosophers and want to kill Krishna in philosophy so that people cannot approach God. So externally, they might be wearing the dress of saints, but with the help of Bhagavad Gita, we should understand such philosophies are actually demoniac in nature. They want to kill God in God's existence and want to take people away from God. Asatyam apratishtamte jagad ahur anishwaram. So then how this world has come into picture? It is produced of sex desire. Man and woman, they mate, and then there is production of children. In this way, there is combination of natural ingredients and all the varieties they develop. So in this way, they give various philosophies for development of varieties in this world. But there is no Ishwar, there is no controller. So we should be very, very careful not to mistake them as saints and religionists or spiritualists. Etam drishtim avashtabhya nashtatmanolpa buddhayaha prabhavantyugra karmanaha shayaya jagato hitaha. Following such conclusions, the demoniac, who are lost to themselves and who have no intelligence, engage in unbeneficial, horrible works meant to destroy the world. So now if we see, despite all the endeavors for happiness advancement, destruction of world is happening. Why? Because of cultivation of demoniac qualities. So no amount of poetry, philosophy, or scientific advancement will help us if we don't cultivate the science of God, don't cultivate these divine qualities. Any advancement will but create destruction in the form of dynamite, nuclear bombs, global warming, pollution, and all such things. Kamam ashritya dushpuram dambhamana madanvitah mohad grahitva sadgrahan pravartante shuchivratah. The demoniac, taking shelter of insatiable lust, pride, and false prestige, and being thus illusioned, are always sown to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. Important words used here is kamam ashritya. They take shelter of unsatiable lust. Dushpuram. how much ever we may work hard, one is never satisfied. One wants to accumulate wealth, but those who have accumulated the desired wealth, they are also not satisfied. The richest people of the world are also not satisfied, because this kamam, the tendency to satisfy the senses independent of God, it is dushpuram. It is insatiable. One is never satisfied by such effort. Dambhamana madanvita, but out of pride in one's abilities, false prestige, yes, I can do it, they keep on treading this path of satisfying lust, tendency to enjoy senses independent of God. And thus illusioned are always drawn to unclean work, attracted by the impermanent. Chintam aparimeyam cha pralayantam upashritaha kamopabhoga parama etavad iti nishchitaha asha pashishatair baddhaha कामक्रोध परायणाः ईहन्ते कामभोगार्थम् अन्यानेनार्थ संचयान्. They believe that to gratify the senses unto the end of life is the prime necessity of human civilization. Thus, there is no end to their anxiety, being bound by hundreds and thousands of desires, by lust and anger. They secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. Chintam aparimeyam cha. They are fraught with unlimited anxieties. Why? Because in the previous verse we saw, they get attracted to asat, something which is temporary. Anything which is temporary, it creates anxiety to attain it, and then if you have it, to maintain it, to protect it, and then when you lose it, unlimited lamentation. Chintam, thus there are unlimited anxieties for one who is attracted to anything on temporary platform. Does it not make sense? Why we should be attracted to anything on temporary platform? Either situations, position, people, or material acquisitions. Because all of them will leave us. They are not with us. You have to work very hard, take anxiety to get them. Then there is fear to maintain them, anxiety to maintain them, and then when they are lost, they will be lost because they are temporary. Then there is lamentation. But one may ask, how will I enjoy them? Yes, the enjoyment that we have should be done on permanent platform. All this enjoyment one can have by increasing one's attraction in the service of Krishna. So the demoniac people, having no knowledge of service of God, Chintam aparimeyam cha, they are fraught with various anxieties. And pralayantam upashrita kamopabhoga parama, until the time of destruction of this cosmos, they want to enjoy the senses. Or till the end of their life, as long as they live their last breath, they want to enjoy the senses. Kamopabhog, enjoyment of the senses, is considered the highest aim of life. And helping others means helping others also in enjoyment of the senses. But does it not make sense that it is mentioned here, Asha pasha shatair baddha, that this sense enjoyment entangles us? We tell, oh, this world, there is no freedom, there is so much entanglement. So this material desire only entangles us. As we saw in 15th chapter, this desire is the water on which illusion of this material world is created. So it is dushpuran kaman. We saw in the previous verse, the desires are never satiated. A child is never satisfied with one toy. Similarly, we are not satisfied with bigger toys, bigger cars, opulence, or name, fame, prestige, money. We always want to have more. We always want to eat more, always want to see more. Is it not simple? Satisfying the senses, itching propensity, Bhagavatam mentions. You scratch it, itching increases all the more. So what is this that we are doing? Creating more dissatisfaction in our life? Asha pasha shatair baddha. These hundreds and thousands of desires, they bind us. Now for that I am forced to do hard work. In that hard work, if I don't get success, I am forced to face depression. Sometimes people hang themselves for being unsuccessful in the material world. And then I am conditioned. If my husband and wife, they behave nicely with me, I am happy. If they don't behave nicely, I get distressed. So much distressed. My boss, subordinates behave nicely, I am happy. If they don't, I become distressed. Baddha, this is called entanglement. I have given my remote control to others. As they are pushing the buttons or pulling the ropes, I am behaving. So human life is meant for Ya Vidya Sa Vimukte, liberation. I am not handing over my control to anybody, but these desires I have handed over my control. I am completely dependent upon externals for my enjoyment. I don't get up my morning tea or coffee as I get up. I become disturbed in my mind. This tea coffee was not the culture at all of India. It was considered intoxication. Civilized people, gentle people will not take it. It was introduced by the Britishers, and now everyone is addicted to it. Unnecessarily, artificially increasing the necessities of life, getting addicted to it, these are demoniac activities. One should have a simple living, minimalistic living. So Asha Pasha Shatair Baddha. Thus there is no end to their anxiety, bound by hundreds and thousands of desires, by lust and anger. Lust forces one to engage in so much of hard work. Then anger, person is told anything, unfavorable desires are not fulfilled. People are disturbed. They get controlled by anger. They become servants of lust and anger. And then they secure money by illegal means for sense gratification. This is the life of demons. So if we see that actually we are doing all these things, material desires, and these material desires, they bind us, and all of us want to earn money by illegal means. Idam adya maya labdham imam prapsye manoratham idam astidam api me bhavishyati punardhanam asau maya hata shatrur anishye chaparanapi ishvaroham aham bhogi siddhoham balvan sukhi आढ्यो अभिजनवानस्मि कोन्योस्ति सदृशो मया यक्ष्ये दास्यामि मोदिष्य इत्यज्ञानविमोहिताः. The demoniac person thinks, so much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. So much is mine now, and it will increase in the future, more and more. He is my enemy, and I have killed him, and my other enemy will also be killed. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man, surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices. I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. In this way, such persons are deluded by ignorance. So this is mentality of practically everyone who is being educated in the contemporary education. So much wealth do I have today, and I will gain more according to my schemes. This is blind faith. Materialist may accuse spiritualist of blind faith, that you have not seen God, you have not seen spiritual world. Why you are having faith on something you have not seen? So an intelligent spiritualist should counter argue that, sir, your situation is more fallen than that of mine. God and spiritual world, for argument's sake, okay, may or may not exist. Can you tell it does not exist? Have you went all across the existence? No, may or may not exist, agreed. But what is your faith? Your faith is, if I have money, I will be happy. But you are seeing Pashyanapi na pashyati, those who have money, they are not happy. So this is called bigger blind faith. In one situation, that may or may not be true. But this is definitely not true, and you are following it. Still you are following it. You have got more money in your life, and you have seen that has not made you more happy. You see people who have so much of money and they are also not happy in their lives, and still you chase money. Is this not a bigger blind faith? Something which is definitely not true and you are following that? But the most intelligent people in the best universities as they take admission, not all of them, some are there, but that count is very few. Most of them, they talk about jobs and placements. How much money will I have? So when the best brains of the world are after money, they have this blind faith. They don't see money is not making happy. The simple sense is not getting awakened because of so much negative culture, materialistic culture. What is the hope of happiness and liberation? So this is called blind faith. So much money I have and so much more I'll gain according to my schemes. This is demoniac mentality. Devotee doesn't wish to accumulate money. He will have money so that he can spend for God, he or she can spend for God. So much is mine now and it will increase in the future more and more. They think by accumulation of assets, everything that they see around them, it is meant for their enjoyment. They don't understand Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarvam. Everything is coming from God, so he is the natural proprietor. Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarva loka maheshwaram. Krishna tells, I am the ultimate enjoyer. You should not envy. So everything should be used for God, and then I'll be happy, God will be happy. They think everything that I see, it belongs to me. So much I have, I will accumulate more. So this is the mentality of thieves, putting eye on others' property. I will increase in the future more and more. They want to increase their assets. So increasing the assets for one's own enjoyment, this is also demoniac mentality. He is my enemy and I have killed him, and my other enemy also will be killed. So either killing physically or defeating one in competition, that is also called killing the enemy. So either I want to kill my enemy or defeat somebody in competition. So we all are living in a competitive environment, and competition can happen only in a society which is envious. Heart burns seeing other person advance. So this country topper was giving interview. He had this dream that in my city I will be the first person to top the country because he had good credentials. He was hoping he will top. But then one fine day he sees in the newspaper, one person from his city has already topped in that examination in the country. And he explains, I got devastated that day. So just see, seeing other people succeed makes a person feel devastated. This is called envy, and this is true with all of us. Even in family, such envy exists. So we talk of brotherhood, loving each other, and then we have this competition in the society. Competition cannot exist without envy. Mother will not compete with the child for food. If there is limited food, mother will go hungry. So when love is not there, then competition this thing. And without love, a person will not be happy. So just see, this is called demoniac mentality. I want to have more, I want to accumulate, I envy others, I want to have competition, I've defeated my enemy, I will defeat others also. Can a mother think like that? I've defeated my child, I will defeat him tomorrow, other children also? No, this is very bad mentality, very fallen mentality. No gentleman will have such mentality of defeating others. So just see, if a mother thinks like that, this child I have defeated today, I will defeat other children also tomorrow. That mother will be called a witch. Similarly, all of us are same brothers and sisters. We are all children of God, parts and parcels. How we can envy each other? It means we are envying God because everyone is part and parcel of God. So this is called envy. This envy is very third-class mentality, and the best in the best cultured societies, the best brains, they are into this competition. Where is the sense? Where is love? What is this knowledge which does not awaken us to these common sense phenomena? I have defeated, I will defeat more. So this is demoniac mentality. Yes, devotees also compete, but the competition is to become servant, better servant. Oh, this person has served God so nicely, Let me work hard and become a better servant. Competition is to become more and more humble, not to defeat others and put others down. I am the Lord of everything. I am the enjoyer. I am perfect, powerful, and happy. I am the richest man surrounded by aristocratic relatives. There is none so powerful and happy as I am. I shall perform sacrifices, I shall give some charity, and thus I shall rejoice. So it is not necessary that they are enjoying everything that they have. They want to do sacrifices, they want to do charity also. But ultimate objective is, and thus I shall rejoice. This is the ultimate attitude of a demon. That demon thinks, I want to enjoy. I don't want to make others enjoy. I don't want to give enjoyment to God, who is my source, eternal maintainer and lover. I want to enjoy independently. So for this, I will give charity because I enjoy doing charity. I feel very nice taking the position of God. God is supposed to maintain everyone. If I maintain others, I get godly feeling. Or just see, I am taking care of so many people. So charity is not done in that mood. Yes, giving food and clothes is okay so that those who are hungry and this thing, their demands can be met so that they can advance in Krishna consciousness. So for this, dana, charity is recommended, but not in the mood of I shall enjoy, so that they can advance in spiritual life. I am not doing anything. This wealth anyway belongs to God and it is meant for others who do not have. Just like sannyasis, they spread knowledge to others who do not have. Similarly, wealthy people, those who earn, householders, should know that wealth does not belong to me. It should be used for others who do not have it. In this mood, so that we will discuss, Krishna is mentioning these different modes of charity. So a demon will do charity, will do sacrifice, but so that I shall rejoice, I can enjoy. When Bali Maharaj was engaged in such yajna with Shukracharya, and Lord Krishna came in the form of Vamandev, and Shukracharya told that he is Vishnu and do not promise him anything, he will cheat you, take away all your wealth. So then Bali Maharaj told, so this sacrifice is meant for satisfaction of Vishnu only. So now Vishnu is coming and you are telling do not give, you are hypocrite. You are telling against the injunction of the Vedas. So demons do sacrifice yajna, all those sacrifices meant for the satisfaction of Vishnu, but by doing yajna you get the material benefit. So it is okay, I will do sacrifice. So tendency to do sacrifice for one's own enjoyment is demoniac. So if somebody is doing yajna, puja, havan very nicely, going to temple, but the desire is so that I can enjoy, that is demoniac mentality. So one should be careful, not do yajna and sacrifice for I enjoy. So these are very, very important instructions, and practically we can see all of us are being trained in this attitude. And then we can see Asha Pasha Shatair Baddha, we are entangled, we are helpless, we are miserable. So we should very carefully now reverse this training from demoniac to divine. Aneka chitta vibhranta mohajala samavritaha prasakta kama bhogeshu patanti narakeshu chao. Thus perplexed by various anxieties and bound by a network of illusions, one becomes too strongly attached to sense enjoyment and falls down into hell. So they break so many laws of nature, unnecessary troubles they give to other living entities, and thus they create a very dark future in hell. Hell is not false. As we discussed previously, laws of nature are very perfect. If you kill somebody, you can be killed. If you kill 100 people or 100 insects, punishment is same, killing. So how you can be killed 100 times? So there is a place which is existing in this nature created by God, which is called hell. And there the bodies are given where so much harassment will be given, but a person will not die. So thus nature has done perfect arrangement. If you kill somebody 100 times, you will be killed 100 times in suitable bodies. That your body breaks apart, but you will not die. So ultimately these people, they reach such very dangerous situations. आत्मसम्भावितास्तब्धा धनमानमदान्विताः यजन्ते नाम यज्ञैस्ते dambhena vidhipurvakam. Self-complacent and always impudent, deluded by wealth and false prestige, they sometimes perform sacrifices in the name only without following any rules or regulations. So as we discussed, they will perform sacrifice, they are very proud, complacent, but those sacrifices, rituals, externally they may claim that I am very religious, but it is mentioned here, they do these things in the name only. Yajante naam yajnaste dambhena vidhipurvakam, and they don't follow the rules and regulations. They will create their own rules and regulations for worship, for religious rituals. That is why it is told in Bhagavatam, one should see from the result. What is the result? Yes, I am very duty bound person. I am doing my work very nicely. So if we do our work very nicely as per the rules and regulations given in the scriptures, then Bhagavatam mentions Neha yat karma dharmaya na viragaya kalpate na tirtha pad sevaya jivanapi mrito hisaha. If a person is doing one's work very nicely, it should lead one to dharma, to a religious life. If one does activities as per Varnashrama dharma, duties nicely, one automatically will become religious. Oh yes, I am born religious. I am born in a very nice cultured family. I do all this puja, rituals, worship. So are we getting the result of religion? What is the result of religion? The result of religion is viragaya kalpate, vairagya, renunciation. If a person follows religion very nicely, detachment from this temporary platform, awakening to permanent spiritual platform should happen in life. Vairagya, renunciation. After following all the religion very nicely, I am very much attached to this world. It means I am not following the rules and regulations. That is demoniac principle I am following for my enjoyment, or I am complacent. I don't want to follow very strictly. And then yes, I am a Vairagi, I am renunciant, I am living in Himalayas for many years. Have we got the result of renunciation? And that Bhagavatam mentions is Na tirtha pad seva yay. Tirtha pad seva means engagement in the service of Krishna. So ultimately renunciation, just detachment from temporary platform is not sufficient, as we have sufficiently discussed. What is required is attachment to positive platform of unlimited pleasure, otherwise we'll fall down to this platform of flickering material enjoyment. So that one can attain by Tirtha Pada Seva, understanding our constitutional position as eternal servant of Krishna. So unless a person reaches the stage of Tirtha Pada Seva, renunciation is useless. So it is very nice shloka. Neha yat karma dharmaya. If karma does not lead to dharma, dharma does not lead to, religion does not lead to renunciation, strong detachment. And detachment, renunciation does not lead to Tirtha Pad Seva, service of lotus feet of Krishna. Then Jivan api mrito hisa. Although a person is living, he should be considered dead. Because living person is supposed to make progress in life. Dead man cannot make any progress. So Jivan api, although such a person may show symptoms of consciousness, one is dead. So if one is following religion very nicely, but detachment has not happened in this world, dead. Person is dead. Person is detached, but one does not engage in service of Krishna, Jivan api mrito hisa. So they'll be doing sacrifices in name only without following rules and regulations. They will never develop detachment and service of Krishna. Ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham cha sanshritaha mam atma paradeheshu pradvishantobhyasuyakaha. Bewildered by false ego, strength, pride, lust and anger, the demon becomes envious of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is situated in his own body and in the bodies of others, and blasphemes against the real religion. Tanaham dvishata kruran Sansareshu naradhaman Shipami ajasram ashubhan Asurishveva yonishu. Those who are envious and mischievous, who are the lowest among men, are cast by me into the ocean of material existence, into various demoniac species of life. Asurim yonimapanna Mudha janmani janmani Mam aprapyaiva kaunteya Tato yanti adhamam gatim. Attaining repeated birth amongst the species of demoniac life, such persons can never approach me. Gradually they sink down to the most abominable types of existence. So here it appears that Krishna is unfavorable. Krishna is angry upon the demons. Shipami ajasram ashubhan asurishveva yonishu. I'll throw them in the darkest regions of material existence, in demoniac species of life. Eventually they will go into lower species of life. But we have to understand, yes, Krishna shows transcendental anger. Anger is not bad, but it should be on spiritual platform, transcendental anger. And that is beneficial. Just like we discussed, apparently actions of anger by Arjuna and Krishna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra appears to be act of enviousness. They want to kill others, but actually it was same as benevolence, because all those who died, they all attained liberation. So Krishna's activities are on absolute platform. Krishna's love and Krishna's anger, both are beneficial for the other living entity. So that is why here, even though Krishna is apparently becoming angry, but such degradation into lower species of life is beneficial for such demons. And such demons, when they are favored by Krishna, they are killed by him personally, then they get liberation, which otherwise is the prerogative of very advanced spiritualists. So thus degradation in lower species also, it is mercy shown by Krishna upon these atheistic demoniac mentalities. So externally we should be very, very cautious. We cannot judge unless we go through the eyes of scriptures and understand the acts of apparently envious nature, behavior, imitating the normal people. I'll repeat. So although externally the devotees may appear to behave like ordinary people, but we should not get mistaken. We should see from the eyes of the scriptures. Narad Muni cursed Nalkuvar Manigiri become trees, but that becoming trees gave them pure devotion and liberation to the spiritual world. So in this way, so-called curse, so-called angry behavior, which leads a person into degradation, it elevates spiritualists. But that anger should be strictly shown only in the service of Krishna. Trividham narakasyedam dvaram nashanamaatmanaha kama krodhastatha lobhas tasmade tatrayam tyajet. There are 3 gates leading to this hell: lust, anger, and greed. Every sane man should give these up, for they lead to the degradation of the soul. So otherwise, if not for the service of Krishna, not on the people who are envious of Krishna, there should not be any bit of anger. No anger because my desires are not getting fulfilled. No anger upon people because they are not behaving properly. Not because they are harming me. No, in such cases, I should not be angry at all. So although protective measures should be taken care, our interest should be protected because we have to serve Krishna, but anger should not be shown upon reverse behavior which we can see in this world. That is because of Maya karma. So one should be completely free from anger. Otherwise anger leads one to hell. Lust, anger and greed. And now we see all these things are increasing. Entire entertainment industry increases our lust. But what is the result of this increased lust? Increased disturbance in society, in health. When you lose semen, you lose your vital life force and so many diseases they come. And those who enjoy sex life unlimitedly, there is very, very miserable old age. They die horrible deaths. So people do not know this. Ayurveda mentions ahar, nidra, brahmacharya. If we take care of three things, we will be healthy. Eating the right food at the right time, nidra, having proper rest at proper times, and brahmacharya, celibacy. And if one indulges in sex pleasure for producing children, Krishna conscious children, then that is also considered as brahmacharya vrat. But if a person indulges in unrestricted sex, oh, how can I control? Life will be miserable. No. Now, because of atheistic technological advancement, we have invented contraceptives. Otherwise, when contraceptive pills and other devices were not there, child will come out if you indulge in sexual pleasure. You cannot have unlimited children. Thus, very, very limited number of times people will have sex in their lives. So what we are discussing is not very difficult. So people have to practice restraint because child will come out of such activity. But now we have got addicted because of these contraceptives, and that is creating so much destruction in spiritual life and so much destruction of one's mental sanity. People become insane when they indulge in so much of sex. And of course, degradation in health. Why so many diseases have come up which were not existing few decades ago? Because of this thing, very important thing. So maintaining good resistivity, I'll repeat. So for maintaining good resistivity in the body, we need to protect semen, conserve semen. It is important. So lust. Everybody is increasing lust. Entire industry, media, everything to increase lust. Anger anyway. Because you have so many desires, when the desires are not fulfilled, we will feel anger. And greed, nobody is satisfied. Accumulate as much as possible. No. Vedic culture was minimize the needs as much as possible. Reverse way. If you accumulate as much as possible, then resources are limited. We will destroy the earth. Not sustainable growth. So neither materially, nor socially, nor spiritually, these three qualities are favorable. So one should be very, very cautious. These are considered the gates of hell. They will take us to unlimited suffering in this world and to the hellish planets. So we should by all means control lust, anger and greed. Etairvimukta kaunteya tamodvara stribhirnaraha acharatyatmana shreyas tato yati param gatim. The man who has escaped these three gates of hell, O son of Kunti, performs acts conducive to self-realization and thus gradually attains the supreme destination. Yash shastra vidhim usrijya vartate kamakarataha na sasiddhim avapnoti na sukham na param gatim. But he who discards scriptural injunctions and acts according to his own whims attains neither perfection nor happiness nor the supreme destination. Tasmat shastram pramanam te karya karya vyavasthitau gyatva shastra vidhanoktam karma kartum iharhasi. One should understand what is duty and what is not duty by the regulations of the scriptures. Knowing such rules and regulations, one should act so that he may gradually be elevated. So when we discuss these rules and regulations, they may appear to be difficult. But we have to understand skipping rules and regulations may appear to be giving us freedom. Oh, I want to remain free. I don't want to lose it. But no, actually it is binding us. Just like if we follow the simple rules and regulations of civic body government, we can enjoy so many facilities of government. But if we want to unduly increase our freedom by violating the laws, then we'll be put in jail. Our freedom is. So absolute freedom is only with God. We have to follow rules and regulations nicely. So if we follow rules and regulations Krishna tells here, then we elevate ourselves to the platform of liberation. And how to understand those rules and regulations? By understanding the do's and don'ts mentioned in the scriptures, which are the user manual given by God. Otherwise, yash shastra vidim usrijya, those who leave the scriptures, na sa siddhim, they don't attain perfection of life, na sukham, they are not happy. That is why we see, and we are not seeing, the data is telling, the world is more miserable than the misery after World War. People are more depressed now. So people have not become happy. Because there is no independence. We are becoming more and more entangled. And on the other hand, you see this life, the life of devotees. So we are living a life. So it is not just some motivational talk from the platform. Motivational speakers, they come encourage so much and they themselves are demotivated and they have so many issues in their life. No, there's not such artificial talk. So Prabhupada went to America and they were accusing India is a poor country. So Prabhupada told, you think having more money will make you happy? Then your country is super rich, America, why you are producing hippies? In 1960s, there was counterculture movement, hippies. Hippie means who are dissatisfied. They left their institutions, school, colleges, marriages, no rules and regulations they wanted to follow. So these are dissatisfied. So your best research institutes, best GDP and economic development has left them dissatisfied. So money, power, GDP does not make you satisfied. It is required to keep the body and soul together. So na sukham, one will not be satisfied. Then Prabhupada gave them Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada brought them from America into Indian villages. Vrindavan, Mayapur, now there is some development, otherwise they were complete villages back then. And there were snakes on the fields. There are no toilets, they have to go to the field to evacuate. So mosquitoes are there, snakes are there, and Indian climate, weather, such conditions, it was difficult for them. Temperatures, heat, they were getting malaria, diarrhea, so many diseases, but they never left. Even now you go to these places, you'll find many Westerners settled very nicely. So Prabhupada made them get settled in the villages with bare minimum maintenance. And they left cities like New York, Chicago, the most rich cities of the world, the most opulent nations. So Prabhupada wanted to show them it is the Krishna consciousness which is missing in one's life that will make them happy. If you see the life of a devotee, the devotee violates all the conceptions which people harbor to get happiness. The devotees do not have any source of income, no money. We don't get any salary. And so first of all, no money. Money is not required for happiness. No salary is being given. Living conditions are simple. Sometimes very troublesome. You have to go to spread this message in war-torn countries, unfavorable situations. Devotees are ready to go in such situations. Sometimes they get killed. Problems are there, no problem. So living conditions are simple. We don't live in palaces. Although we can have good temples to attract people, but for devotees, living conditions are always simple. Eating, we do not eat in the restaurants outside. The devotee always eats very simple foodstuffs which are offered to the deity. Without offering, one cannot take anything. And that is also very, very simple food. And then security for future, no security because there is no bank account, there is no bank balance. And tomorrow anything can happen. So one does not have any accumulation of wealth. And no security of people. Then family makes you happy. No, there is no family also. But happiness, yes, so much happiness is there. Vacations, no vacations. The devotee works always. The 7 days in a week. And thus there is complete defiance of anything which we perceive as, oh, this will give me happiness. But there is happiness. Oh, you are a monk, you can be happy in that way. How we can follow householders? No, we have many householders also. Monks are very less. But majority of the people who follow Krishna consciousness, they are householders. And there are some householders who dedicate themselves to preach this mission. And there are some householders who work as a regular industrialist, as a government civil servant, or as a cab driver, or in whatever situation possible. But they are very much satisfied. I'll repeat. But they are very much satisfied in whatever situation they are, because even though one is running an industry, one is driving a cab, one is teaching in institutions, one is not doing so that I can rejoice. This mentality is not there, so that Krishna can rejoice, so that others can be brought out of their miserable condition. They work so that at least 50% of their wealth can be used in the service of Krishna. And then, even though we are situated in an industry, in government enterprise or anywhere, we will be enjoying the consciousness of a sannyasi or renunciant. Yes, this is Krishna consciousness. It can be practiced anywhere and everywhere. You can defy all the conceptions which are required for happiness, but your life is full of happiness. When Prabhupada was asked, how can I believe you? You are telling us so many things which our senses cannot perceive. Prabhupada told, the proof is happiness. If you follow truth, if you follow the laws of nature, you will be happy. If you break, you will come in distress. So by this simple thing, we can understand who is getting more distressed, he is in ignorance. Who is increasing one's happiness, unalloyed happiness, he is on the path of truth. So I request all of you, please take guidance of these rules and regulations of the scriptures. Krishna is telling, if you don't follow, na sukham, there is no happiness, there is no perfection of life. And if we follow, we are happy in this life, we cultivate divine qualities, and then we are liberated. We get freedom from the laws of nature. So thank you so much for hearing. All this begins, the freedom, all these divine qualities, they begin with chanting of the holy names of the Lord. So please chant always as much as possible. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And very soon we'll meet with the 17th chapter. Hare Krishna.